Hello, sister. Welcome. Welcome back. So shall we wait? We wait, Nora, until the more people come. Yeah,
Yeah, I say let's wait a few minutes and see who else arrives.
sure. Mhm. Hmm. Where are you calling from? How do I pronounce her name? Chara?
So it's Chiara, yes.
Chiara. Chiara.
And well, I'm based in Berlin, but I'm originally from Italy.
Wow. Okay. Welcome. So nice to see you.
Thank you. Good to see
Uh-huh.
you.
Uh-huh. Okay, we got our brother here too. Welcome, brother. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, I'm not Julieta, but I'm using her link.
Yes, you're Hulim's uncle, no?
Yeah, I
Welcome,
want.
brother. Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I booked for December. I'm so excited.
We seen, brother. We're very excited to have you. Welcome.
Yeah, I'm so happy. Thank you so much.
It's beautiful. We're glad that Hulim is saying that we're doing some good things. So we're
She
so
didn't even ask me. She forced me to.
okay, good. That's good work. Yeah, we trained her well.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so thank you too for arriving on time. But we're gonna give a few more minutes, tell everybody, whoever else is gonna show up to show up, and then we'll get started, okay? Okay, everybody. I feel it's a good time to start. And those that would like to join us, we can go ahead and invite them in the room when the time is right. Um, so, really grateful to have you here. Thank you so much for joining me from wherever you are. I see some sunshine over there. Looks a little dark there, and she's in Berlin. Uh, but thank you so much for taking the time to join me today. Uh, So, my name is Alberto. I'm one of the lead facilitators of Soul Medicine retreats, also a collaborator, co-creator, and yeah, on the path of prayer ceremony. It's been a big part of my path, my life for the past 6 years. So this workshop, we're gonna dive into a little bit about what it is to enter a ceremonial container, what we are doing there in this space, what the purpose is, and kind of our intention for working in this way. So I'm going to just give a bit of a background on my relationship with prayer and ceremony and communion. For me, it started like most with more of like a religious background. So I was grew up a Christian. So this was the upbringing that I was raised with, and for me, I was very much in fear constantly of going to hell, or kind of like I had this like I felt that I was going to church in a way just to make sure that I wasn't punished. So this was kind of like my upbringing and my connection to ceremony and to prayer. So I used to pray very often, but oftentimes it would be prayers of like I'm really praying to that I don't go to hell, and then I pray that all of my family members are okay, and then but please don't take me to hell. I promise I'm not gonna do these bad things anymore. So it was always more of like a confession, and this is the beginning relationship that I had with prayer. And over time it became like kind of like I started to lose a little bit of motivation, a little bit of trust in the church, and it wasn't really feeling fitting for me at that time. I didn't really feel in alignment, and at this time I felt a disconnection to prayer. When I was young, I would pray very often, and after was finding a disconnection, I no longer would pray because felt it was so connected to praying to a man in the sky with a beard, or like always praying for something that had to be connected with the church. So this was kind of like my first initial influence with prayer, and also attending the ceremony, which was church, you know. And for me, when I developed this disconnection, I kind of my spiritual basis, or my mm, motivation to pray to a higher power was somewhat lost. And this went on for years, up until maybe about 6 or 7 years when I found a reconnection to prayer. Um, and my reconnection to prayer came through entering ceremonial containers and working on myself. And we started to evolve my connection to something outside of myself, to really to ground myself into what it is that I was grateful for, what it is that I was ambitious to receive in my life. So now I'm on a pretty deep path of prayer. So it's a commitment to prayer. For me, we do a commitment where we commit ourselves to 4 years to fasting on a mountain. Uh, so I just completed my 4th year. And with this, we're tied with 365 prayers around us, and we're fasting and we're praying. And sometimes I ask myself often, like, why am I doing this? You know? And I got many answers. And one of my teachers, he said, you're up there to learn how to pray. You know, to pray what you're grateful for, to pray what you need in life, and to pray for the people. So after having these experiences, I've developed myself to commit myself to be of service and a man of prayer. Uh, so this is just a little bit of a background on my association, my connection with prayer. But I would like to just get into a little bit about how this all ties in together and what we're doing there. So, so like, what is a ceremonial container? Like, like a ceremonial container is like where we dedicate a specific space for ritual, for practice, for intention, and for prayer. And depending on the circumstances or the situation or what's called for, it can have a different purpose, a different intention, a different function. But when we're creating a ceremonial container, the things that are usually always related is we all have a specific intention as a collective. So we're coming together to collectively pray for something. Um, and in this way, we create a space for this. We create a space, a sacred space for uh, to acknowledge our prayers and acknowledge that what we need in this life. And we do this in connection and community. Uh, but it can also be, there's many rituals and many ceremonial containers. Like we can do, like a ceremonial container can be a graduation, a funeral, like a birthday. So it's like oftentimes that we're always in these containers. And so we have like an idea that this is like a common thing. You know, we look at like if you go to church or like a Catholic church and you see these rituals and practices, it's like they're all there for a specific purpose. And so like a ceremonial container is like in existence in our almost, like we've been to many ceremonial containers whether we think so or not. And specifically the ceremonial containers that we're working with is with the intention to heal, to come together in community, and to pray and to work with what we are trying to release and resolve in our lives. So when we come together in a collective, we are honoring this space, and we're honoring each other and the intentions to come together and to amplify our prayers and communion. Uh, so it becomes a very much like a ritualistic practice. Mm, so there's like when we create the container for like a ceremonial container, it's like here at Soul Medicine, for instance, we have a ceremonial container that is the whole week. So we come in, we're purifying ourselves, and although our intentions differ from one to another, we're all there to better ourselves in some way. So we unify as community, as family, and we come together in this 1 week ceremonial container where we're continuously honoring ourselves, we're continuously praying, we're continuously working on ourselves to better ourselves. Uh, when we do when we come together in like a ceremonial container in there, when we're working with the medicine, we come together in unification to pray together, to heal together, to be held together. Um, and so, like, what is prayer? Like, what is prayer? Well, prayer can be very like subjective. It can be a meditation. It can be to come into yourself and to just be in the present moment. Uh, but it's also like a space for connecting to your internal world, your thoughts, your aspirations, and your needs. So it's like I reflect sometimes, like when I'm in a ceremonial container with some of my teachers, and they say, "Okay, Alberto, it's time for you to pray." So, and I'm like, "Oh, well, what do I have to pray for? I don't know what to pray for." And so, but in that space of the ceremonial container, when we are all there as a collective, and we're all there supporting each other, um, and I have the opportunity to pray and to express, I feel that I naturally am able to kind of call out my needs, my aspirations, uh, and what it is that I desire. And in this way, it helps me to have a deeper awareness of what's going on with inside of me. Um, and this is like, and it doesn't only just work for like what I need. It's like, it also helps me to be in a space of like what I'm grateful for. So it can be as we're praying for, we can come together and pray in gratitude. You know, it's like, oh, okay, so I'm grateful. What am I grateful for? And sometimes it takes a moment to really sit back and to feel like, what am I grateful for? Uh, Once you start to connect with things that you may have gratitude for, even when life is feeling maybe confusing or maybe we're not in the best place, we can always find something that we're grateful for. You know, like for instance, it's like I can pray, I am grateful that there is another day. I'm grateful that I'm alive. I'm grateful that I have my hands work, my eyes work, that I'm in good health. You know, I'm grateful that I have this opportunity to pray and to connect. And with this gratitude, uh, it serves as a good space to center ourselves and to feel ourselves in like to be able to feel more relaxed, at ease, and to allow more light to arise inside of us to truly tap into what it is that we need, like who we are. Uh, and it can be a good opportunity to really look inside of yourself or what you're praying for. Um, and also prayer, like through many traditions and things like this, we're praying to a higher power. So it can be, and I see a lot of benefit in this from seeing something outside of yourself. So we're in a constant like story within our mind of this idea of who we are, our identity, like this is me. And I know it has a tendency to make us feel separate, to make us feel alone, you know. When we have an opportunity or space to pray to something outside of ourselves. And I'm not sitting here saying to pray to any specific God or like that this is like a religion. It's like for me, it's like I pray to my environment, what I know is here. I pray to to these trees, to this land, to the fire, to the elements, and I pray to whoever's listening outside of me. And with this, it helps me to see outside of myself and to feel a deeper connection to everything around me and to have a belief system, you know. Okay, it's like, well, I pray to the creation of all of this. I pray to who is listening, and in this way it helps me not feel so alone, to feel connected. And when we're praying, and when we're praying to this to creation, and we're praying to something outside of ourselves, it's giving us a good practice to ask for the support that we need. I know myself personally, in this path, it's been like I didn't really know how to ask for support. You know, I feel like I had to really get everything done in my own way. Like it was the only person that I can depend on is myself. And I went on for years and years like that. And it can be a scary place to not be able to ask for support and feeling like you have to do everything on your own. So when we're able to call out to the creator or something, if we're in a difficult moment, and saying like, I'm praying for the help, I'm praying for the support, for the help, and this is what I need, you know, and this is like a good practice for us to be able to express ourselves and our needs and what we need support in. And oftentimes you'll be very surprised that when we commit ourselves to creating a sacred space for prayer, uh, like with the intention, with when we are coming together, like I'm saying, with like a ceremonial container, where it's like, okay, I am preparing myself for this place of prayer, for this place of connection. So I'm creating the sacred space. I'm coming in the present moment. I'm coming with intention, and I'm going to pray and express myself. And you'll be surprised, like the effects that it has just on the action of itself, praying and being able to tap into some sense of gratitude, tap into some sense of self-awareness, and tap into a space of what we need and what we feel that we need in support. Like just being able to verbalize this is very beneficial for the overall well-being. But not only that, it's like you'll be surprised that maybe oftentimes your prayers will be answered in some way or another. And so it's like so with prayer, it's like why not? Why not give it a try, you know, to see what effects it has. And when I explain everything about religion and all of this, it's not to, I think praying in a religious way too, through whatever your belief system is important, is good. Uh, but I'm trying to let you know that there's a wide variety of ways to pray and like how to connect with prayer. And there shouldn't always be like this stigma towards people. Sometimes they're like, I don't want to pray. You know, I had a bad experience with the church, and I don't believe that. It's not my belief system. I don't want to be a part of that. And I understand because I've had the same experience, but it's like, oh, but because we've had a difficult experience with some sort of structure that is maybe not in alignment with us or we don't agree with, I don't feel that it's like a good reason for us to disconnect with this gift and this tool that we have to pray, to connect. Uh, it's like with prayer and connection, it's very important for this human experience to be able to sit in the present moment. Mm, so there's like this idea of like being here in the present moment, being here now, being here like observant of where we are, how's our body feeling, what's going on with ourselves, what's the environment, what's happening here. Because we have a tendency to be thinking about the past or the future, or to be in constant movement. Uh, with engaging in a space where we have intention, like a ceremonial container, and when we're praying, it's like it's putting us in a position to be in the present moment, to be here in functioning in what we're doing in this moment. And with this is where a lot of people say this is where a lot of the magic happens, you know, where we're really able to create when we're in the present moment. So prayer is like it's a gift and a tool that I feel can be utilized by anybody, everywhere. And there's no ownership of prayer. You know, the church doesn't own prayer. You know, I don't own prayer. It's a practice of connection. It's a practice of remembering who we are. It's also like a good form of community building. So when we come together with a collective purpose and we come to pray, which the church does well, I mean, I would agree with that, that there's absolutely like a space where people come unified together to pray and to feel supported. Uh, so when we do this in like a container where more than and where there's more people than just ourselves, well, we feel unified, we feel in community, we feel in that support. And this helps us to more deeply connect mm, to the connection that we all share, to be there with the people, expressing ourselves, healing together. And it's like we put our focus in a collective purpose, and it's like so we're entering the container as individuals, but we're all there in support of each other at the same time, to pray for what is better. And so it's really important. With prayer as well, it can be a good practice for expressing gratitude, like I was saying. So it's like, for me, it's like, I always start my prayers by expressing gratitude. So it's like, okay, what am I grateful for? You know, and as I said, it's like, I'm grateful for this day. I'm grateful for my life. Uh, I'm grateful for every bit of the journey that has led me here to this point. And with this, I have to reflect and I have to see what I am grateful for. What does gratitude feel like for me? And they say gratitude carries the highest vibration. So in the most difficult times, if we find the things that we're grateful for, we can flood ourselves with positive energy. So with this positivity, and it helps us to also to let go of anything that we're holding on to. We can find gratitude. It helps us to be in a deeper place of acceptance and a deeper place of presence with ourselves. And with all of this positivity for the gratitude that we're expressing to creation, to the trees, or to our loved ones, it's like, well, then we're amplifying this positive energy and calling in more positive energy into our life. Uh, and it's a good practice. It's a good meditation to pray in gratitude, to feel gratitude. So, what I'd like for everybody to do here in the group at this moment is to take a moment for yourself to close your eyes and to breathe, putting some focus on your breath, and inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Just feeling into your bodies, feeling where you're at in this moment. And just giving a little run through of your nervous system. How are you feeling? Feeling calm, at ease? Where are you at in this moment? And I invite you to look inside of yourself and to look what is something that you can find that you're grateful for in your life. Maybe pick one thing that you're really grateful for, you're grateful to have in your life. And when you find this thing that you are grateful for, to sit with the feeling that is emerging from this gratitude. And feel the gratitude amplifying, traveling through your body. And imagine this gratitude that's traveling through your body being released in a frequency outside of yourself. Imagine it like a big ball, slowly growing and growing and growing outside of yourself to your surroundings. Just feeling what it is to be grateful. And when you're feeling ready, you can come back to yourself. You can go ahead and open your eyes slowly when you're ready to come back. Take your time. Welcome back. So yeah, it's like we have the capability to change our frequency with how we feel inside, with some gratitude, you know? It's a practice of prayer. So we can start to embody this. We can start to live in prayer, you know? And what is prayer? Prayer is being able to connect to ourselves, to connect to a higher truth outside of ourselves, and to connect with what we're grateful for. So if we find a gratitude, or if we find ourselves in a place where we're not feeling so well, we need a moment, and we can always just take a moment. It doesn't take long, you know, 1 or 2 minutes. right now we just closed our eyes for 2 minutes and to feel, okay, maybe I'm having a difficult day, but what am I grateful for? Okay, in this moment, I'm grateful for this. And I'm going to allow this gratitude to flood my system and to take it from here, at least for this moment, to take me out of the whatever I'm feeling bad about. With the gratitude, it shows like an evolution on the spiritual path. You know, we're able to find the gratitude, shows that we're growing. Because oftentimes, I don't know, through some of my hard times, it was hard for me to feel grateful for anything, you know? I'm like, oh, this is a difficult day, a difficult life, everything is going bad. What am I supposed to be grateful for, you know? As time started to evolve, I started to be able to find gratitude for even the hardships, for even the rough days, you know, times that were not so easy. And for me, that shows a lot of growth in an individual to be able to find gratitude for the situations and circumstances that weren't the easiest ones. And this shows like a depth of self-awareness and being able to look at ourselves where we are now and to see, okay, those may have been some difficult situations, difficult times, but I'm grateful for them because they have made me the person I am today. With this creates more space to move forward, to call in new things, you know? It's like, okay, I'm grateful for this. I'm ready to move forward from whatever hardship that I've experienced. I see what it's taught me. I see where I'm at now. And I'm ready to grow and to move forward in gratitude. With gratitude, I let this go. I'm ready for a new chapter, a new pattern, a new path. So, and there's many health benefits to prayer too. So it's like it can be good for stress reduction, you know. So if we're feeling stressed, like I'm saying, we can come to a space to pray. And like meditation, we create a sacred altar. So we can create a little space for ourselves, even at home, where it's like an altar. An altar is like a sacred space where we put the attention, you know, where the energy can flow. So it's like a little practice where maybe we put together like a little cloth or something pretty, you know, and we can put some stones, maybe some crystals. We want to represent the elements. We can put some candles. We can put pictures of our loved ones. We can put pictures of those that we look up to. We can even put pictures of ourselves, pictures of ourselves as we were young. And with this, we're creating a sacred container. We're creating a sacred space. And we can come to this space to pray. So it's like if we're having a stressful day, this can be incredible for stress reduction because we're taking time for ourselves. We're coming to a sacred space. We're coming to the present moment, and we're giving ourselves an opportunity to pray. It can be good for your overall well-being and to help you with stress. Uh, it also can help with psychological well-being. We can, when we start to believe in our prayers and we believe that we're being heard, it gives us hope and gives us support, and it allows us to feel that uh, that what we are calling for is being heard, and that we have a way to be supported and we're not alone in what we're doing. It helps us to deeply connect to our body. We can, in the place of prayer, we can more deeply connect to our body because we're here in the present moment and we're having the opportunity to really tap in. And once we're quiet and we're tapping into our needs, our feelings, into our heart. It can help us to better reconnect to our body. Okay, where is my body feeling? You know, what is this that's happening? And this is like a form of meditation. And just creating the sacred space, we can connect more to our body, to more of a grounded experience. Uh, so these are just a few things, few ways to practice prayer. A little bit of the positive effects it can have on your life. Uh, so when it comes to the type of ceremonial structure that we have at Soul Medicine, we work with all of these attributes in some way or another. we're creating a sacred space and to take the medicine of the mushrooms, the medicine of the cambo, the tamascal, the medicine of the food that we're nourishing ourselves with. So I'll give you a little bit of awareness of like how that might look. And so you may see us in a space smoking tobacco. So we're smoking tobacco when we're praying. And sometimes people look and they're like, okay, what are you smoking tobacco? This guy here, I come to this healing retreat and he's just up there smoking a big cigar. Like, what did I get myself into? So everything has a purpose, you know. So when we create an actual ceremonial container, when we're specifically when we're working with psychedelic medicine, the mushrooms, in the way that we do it, our design, everything has a function, everything has a purpose. It's very meticulous to have this like beautiful sacred space to be calculated, not only with the directions, but also with the alchemy that we're creating there. We're doing we are creating magic, and not that we are creating magic, the facilitators, it's we collectively as a family are creating magic. So I'll tell you it's a little bit about some of the things that we're using there, some of the tools and the instruments that we're using. So as you might see me up there smoking a cigar, it's not a cigar, well, a cigar, but it's tobacco, you know. So we connect with the tobacco in a very sacred way. So for a lot of indigenous, throughout the Americas mainly, but throughout the world, has been using tobacco as a way to connect to the divine, way to pray. So when we are using the tobacco, we're lighting the tobacco so it can amplify and carry our prayers to creation around us. So we do it in a very sacred way when we use this tobacco. And it helps, they say that there's like a way of the tobacco communicating with the spirits. So it's like, if there can be the spirit of the trees, it can be the spirits of the rocks. And when we're up there smoking a tobacco, we're creating the space to pray with this tobacco. And one of my teachers, he said that when we're smoking the tobacco and we're praying, it's allowing our words to manifest into the 3D and to be carried. Like the smoke brings these formation into the words, and it helps it to be carried to the heavens. So this is the way that we smoke with the tobacco there in the ceremony. And there's also like the structure of like, well, we're coming together collectively and we're sitting in a circle and we have an altar. As I was explaining, like the significance of an altar is to have a place of reverence, a place of focus, a place for the energy to flow through. So we have the altar, we have a sacred space where we're all sitting in a circle, and we have in the particular way that we do our ceremonies, we have a fire. So many of the traditions consider the fire to be the grandfather energy. So it's a grandfather fire, and some believe it's like a representation of the divine to have this light there. So it's like having the presence of the divine through this element, which is the fire, our grandfather fire. So when we're there sitting in circle, all of our prayers, all of the work that we're doing is being guided by this divine light. And it's like it's helping our prayers to be amplified and to be heard, but it's also helping us in the space because we all come with an intention, and some people may have some difficult things to work through in that space. And so there's an energy flowing through this container. And they say that the value of having our grandfather fire there is, if you notice the way flames work, they move and they transmute, and they can make something burn away in an instant, you know, and it can catch and spread and can re it can transform the environment very quickly. So with the way that we are working with the fire and like this specific ceremonial container is to help to transmute energy. So anything that's moving, we can allow the fire to take it to transform it. You know, we work with it to pray. So if anything, we have a space and opportunity to let go of things. You know, so it's like an ancient practice is to release what we don't need into the fire. You know, so it's like we do this with like different plants or tobacco. Uh, Usually not possessions or things like this. I mean, we're not gonna ask somebody, oh, okay, done with this, I'm gonna throw my laptop in the fire or my cell phone or something. Like, well, maybe, but you have to ask first. But yeah, it's an opportunity in space to transform. And it's like it's a sacred dance, you know? So if we are there with like an intention, it's like with the prayer, with the ceremonial container and everything, it's like, okay, if we're gonna, for instance, for example, if we're gonna like say I found the love of my life and I would like to marry her, you know? And this can be like, okay, so I'm gonna have a wedding with her and you're in agreement. I know everybody's marriage and these things are a lot different nowadays, but some people still like to get married. And so if the people are like, okay, I want to get married, you know, I love this person, I'm committed to this person, they plan for a year, you know, that's a ritual. They plan for a year to come together to marry each other with the love that they have for each other. And they go through this whole process of preparing themselves and getting the gown, the tuxedos, the everything, this whole structure because it's a representation of the love and devotion that they have for each other, and they want to do it in a ceremonial context. So this is a very common one that I mean many people probably listening have been to a wedding before. So it's like, well, we're carrying the same energy into the healing environment. So it's like, okay, well, what is it? You know, for instance, it's like if somebody's like, you know, I want to work on my anger or working on depression or anxiety or getting over a loss, you know, it's like, well, what am I going to do? I'm committed to myself. I'm committed to this ceremony, to bettering myself, and to finding the truth. So I'm going to prepare myself. I'm going to enter a sacred container where it's a ritual, it's a practice of letting something go. It's like, okay, I'm creating all of the elements, I'm creating the space, and they say to create the space in perfection. You want to look your best and you want to feel your best when you're in a state of transition, you know? Uh, so it's like you're showing up to the place with an intention. And like, what is an intention, you know? It's a purpose. And it's like people can go into enter a psychedelic experience and they can feel, okay, I want to enter a psychedelic experience and I want to just have the experience. I want to trip out, you know, I want to go see aliens and things like this, you know. That can be like somebody's intention. Uh, but for the most part, the people that are entering these containers, they're there for a reason. Like, okay, I want to work on myself. I want to let something go. There's an aspect of myself that I would like to transform and transmute, and I would like to heal. So it's like, okay, well, we're creating this sacred space to do this work for essentially for your transformation. And so that's why at Soul Medicine and this path of service is like we're creating the space for the family. We're creating the space for the family to come together and to call in and to work through and to really be honored in their state of transition. So very much like a wedding. It's a celebration. When you're getting married or reconnected to the depth of yourself, and to your heart, to your truth. And so we're doing this in a ritual, in a ceremony process. Mhm. So like with so yeah, ritual. Ritual can be tied into like a ceremonial experience. Where it's like, okay, but we also have rituals like daily rituals, you know. It's like, okay, maybe I want to have a coffee in the morning. My ritual is to go walk the dogs in the morning and to have a coffee. Well, these can be very like day-to-day rituals. When we come together, like in the container for a ritual, it's like, okay, we're doing ritual. We're like invoking, we're calling in the support that we need from the environment, and we're also doing a ritual for our healing. So it's like with the fire, with everything coming together, it's a ritual, it's an activity. It's like with one purpose, with one focus. And when we come together in ritual with intention, and we're able to break free from things, we're able to call in a new way of life. Um, and so yeah, with the ritual, it's like different ritualistic practices. And I'm telling you, and I tell everybody listening here that we're not burning chickens or we're not putting anybody on crucifixes or anything over there. We're just like the rituals that we do is very much with love, you know. So it's like a ritual of love. Uh, And so we incorporate all of these practices into soul medicine in the container we create. It's like a ritual of remembering, a ritual of healing, a ritual of like inspiration. And we do this with love. Like we're creating a safe container for everybody to come and to work on themselves and to find a remembrance of maybe aspects of themselves that they forgot. So it's like the most ancient form of practice that we can tie back to is like really to communing around a fire, like, you know, to praying to the sun, praying to the earth, you know, praying for each other, you know. It's like we can think of the primitive times when people were like they were dependent on like the season to change in a good way for their crops or for their food or for to survive, you know, for their lives. So this is like where they start to pray, you know, pray, okay, and they start to do rituals, they start to do practices to help make sure that they live, you know, that they're in a good place and like so. And I feel like with all of the things that we have in our life nowadays, it's like there's many things to distract us. Like we have the cell phones, we have so much work, so we have to go to day to our jobs, and like so it's like many distractions to remembering to we're forgetting the importance of what it is to come together in community and to pray and to have a practice, a ritual, you know, for self-help and for developing ourselves as individuals. And so at Soul Medicine, we're creating a space for us to remember these aspects of ourselves, to remember the importance of connecting to the earth, and connecting to our heart, to our needs, connecting to the creativity, what makes us happy, what it is to be heard, what it is to be supported, what it is to be loved. Um, these are the rituals, these are the practices, you know, and what it is to nourish ourselves, and to eat good, and to feel well. Uh, and so just expressing a little bit about these practices. Uh, I know this is a preparation series, so and knowing that it's like this preparation can be good for any ceremonial experience. It's to start to utilize these before you enter the container. So for my brother here, yeah, knowing that you're going to enter soon in December, it's like, well, it's an invitation to start to practice like a little ritual, ceremonial activity, prayer, because there's this idea that, you know, the medicines and everything is already working with us, you know, before we enter a container. So it's like we can always start to connect with those medicines before, and through prayer, it's like we develop a self-awareness, as I was saying. So it's like when we sit and we pray, it's like, okay, well, what is it do I want to receive from this experience? You know, who is it that how do I want to walk away from this experience? And so with this, you can pray and reflect, set up a little sacred space, an altar, start to connect with the medicine. For this particular retreat, the medicines that we serve is kambo, and we serve the mushrooms. So it's like, okay, well, the benefits of the kambo is to purify, to clean the physical body and the energetic body. The mushrooms is to reconnect to the heart, to the creativity, to our essence, work on our nervous system, work on our thought patterns, many things. The mushrooms work in many different ways, but it's like, okay, with this little idea of what these things have a capability of doing, it's like I can already start a communion with them. It's like, and I know some people are like, oh, that's crazy. I don't want to pray to a frog, you know, like, but it's, like the combo is a frog, but it's like, well, pray to the energy of it, you know? It's like if you feel like, okay, combo is like, okay, I really want to work on myself. I really am praying. I'm trusting you. I'm calling in your energy to help me and to support me. This is what I'm feeling, you know, like if there's something else I need to learn before I meet you, teach me, show me the way, give me the guidance, the direction. You know, you'll be surprised. Like once you open up that space and that intention and that communion, that conversation, things can start to come up, start to arise. And with this, we start the ceremony before it even begins. You know, it's like this is the preparation. You know, it's like we can start to live in ceremony before we enter the ceremony. And when we're there, we show up with a lot more intention and purpose. And they say like when we're more direct with what we need in life, it's like it's more well received and it's better heard. We have a clearer direction. So it's like an arrow flying straight. It's like, okay, well, this arrow is like, I'm being very direct. The arrow doesn't go this way or like that or go turns and like that. The arrow is a straight direction. So it's like, okay, well, what is my intention? What do I want to work on? What am I coming? What am I showing up for? And it's like when we develop an intention and we come into the ceremonial space, then it's like we have a direction. We know why we're there. And when we have a clear intention, we know really what it is we want to work on. And with this, it's like creates more of an opportunity to be heard and not to be all over the place, you know. And sometimes you can't really control it. Maybe you enter a mushroom ceremony and everything is all over the place. But then that's also why the importance of having an intention is important, because then you'd be like, I don't remember why I'm here. What am I doing? And like, these people are crazy. I feel crazy. This is too much. And then, oh, if you have an intention, then you're like, that can be your anchor. Okay, well, no, I remember why I'm here. I'm working on myself. I'm working on my anger. I'm working on this or that. And then it can give you the space to remember why you're here and to establish yourself into a clear direction with purpose, you know. So yeah, this is essentially a little overview of the prayer, ceremonial container, and yeah, a bit about ritual. It's just knowing what I like to express is like to not be afraid, to know it's a very welcoming environment with a lot of love. What we do is we create a safe place to implicate these practices into your life and to develop these tools. And I express and share these tools, um, not for anybody to join the religion or anything, but because they've been important and they've helped me in my life. And so it's like, I think to remember the value of prayer, of connection, can really start to transition and change things for you in a good way. So it's like sharing these tools, which is a little bit different for me to share in the Zoom call. Usually it's around a fire, but it's giving you tools for your well-being, to have a better health, to have a better connection. And this is a bit of the preparation for it. But there at Soul Medicine, we develop many tools to help ourselves. It's not only the prayer, but it's also feeling in the support and community, the yoga, the meditation, many teachings, many lessons. A really good environment to remember and to reconnect to what it is to feel whole, what it is to feel healthy, what it is to feel a part of something, and to find motivation to go forward in life in a good way with gratitude. So yeah, that's my brief overview. I appreciate everybody's patience and time. I want to go ahead and open up the space if anybody has any questions about anything, uh, any comments, any songs, any fun stories. We got some time, but yeah, opening up the space if anybody would like to ask any direct questions about prayer, about ritual, about the way that we do things at Soul Medicine, any general questions about Soul Medicine, anything is welcome. So I'll go ahead and open up the space. And I think you can go ahead and like raise your hand if you'd like to on there, someone. Yeah.
I mean, I can speak. I love that how you're separating prayer from religion. I meditate. I had an altar, but I used to pray and I stopped praying because something similar happened to me. Being in church and repeating por mi culpa, for my own guilt. You know that at some point I'm like, what guilt? And I left church and I never went back. And I love but I used to love the ceremony, being in the place, the repetition. I did mantras later, but it's kind of you're disintoxicated the prayer from what I didn't like about the religion, and and I love that. It's super interesting.
Mhm. Yeah, brother. Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, and I'm sure it's a very common story with many that I talk to. And that's why I try to be very light, because it's like we're not pushing religion or anything. It's like we want people to feel good about it. And it can be one thing though. I mean, maybe that's a good practice. Maybe where the church got it, if we come to soul medicine, like, and you need to pray and you need to be grateful, or else something very bad's gonna
Yeah.
happen to you. And then like that's a way to do it, but that's not the way that we function or work. So
Exactly. Like they force you through fear of
yeah,
mostly everything.
yeah,
Um,
bro. Mhm.
I mean, what I'm my question specifically will be more about the intention. I'm very clear what I want to work, and it's more like the second chapter, how I want to live my life from now on, because I feel like I've been nice for everyone and everywhere, but but I got lost in the middle. But my question is more like I love the arrow idea and how it can be an anchor, but also like I want to listen to what they have to say. So I also don't want to force the intention so much that maybe I'm missing answers that are bigger than my little intention, you know. It works naturally that it will come anyway. If you don't, if you have the arrow, whatever you need to hear, you're gonna hear it anyway, or you have to leave a space for that.
So yeah, I will offer some feedback on this. And like sometimes it's I'm very much in this environment quite often doing this work, and I speak with many people, and it's a very common thing for people to come to me. And I'm very specific. I say have an intention when you arrive and make sure you know why you're doing this, what you're working on. And then all the time people are like, yeah, but what if I forget this one? Or I want to make sure that I get everything, what if I don't know that? And what if I come with one intention and then, but there's something deeper, something else that I need to work on, and I don't get it. And I'm like, don't worry. Everything is in divine timing, and knowing that the medicine has an intelligence, the environment has an intelligence, and beyond that, it's like the creation has an intelligence. So it's like whatever is the underlying thing, it's like, or actually, for example, like if we have a certain intention, like I want to work on my relationship with my father, or like I want to work on my anger. I promise you that if that's a specific in your specific intention, that all the other ones that may emerge during the process, they're like they're part of it too. It's like, oh, everything winds up, if you and from my experience, you start to notice that everything is connected. So it's like but it's good to like tap into like, okay, what is my specific intention? Why am I here? And it can be wide and it can be many intentions, but it's like and sometimes if you're confused, like, okay, well, I don't have a very clear direct intention. I have many intentions that are all over the place. And then maybe this experience or coming together to work in a ceremonial setting will help you to be like, oh, okay, I understand that all these are connected, because there's an underlying connection between everything. Uh, so it's like we advocate to have a good intention, to know why you're there, to what you're doing, to not just mindlessly enter a ceremonial space, to be like, okay, I'm here for a reason. But it's also to know that there is structure, but we're not like in a way where we're telling you, no, you need to have this structure, you need to have this intention, and that's it, and you need to be there. It's like, no, just come and do your best, and knowing that whatever you do, it's gonna be perfect, and it's gonna be exactly what you need. Um, come with many intentions if you do. It's like, okay, and if you want to go deeper into it, what I could recommend for everybody actually is like, okay, maybe you have many intentions, so, or maybe you have one big one, but then you have all these little ones. I would say I recommend everybody, and this is homework too for everybody listening that has would like to develop a way to be more direct with their intention. So write all of these intentions that you have, and start to look at all of them and start to connect them. See, okay, how do these connect? How do these connect? How do these connect? And with this, you can start to develop an even deeper sense of awareness, where it's like, okay, why am I angry? Why am I like have anxiety? Why does this or that? I want to work on the anger, the anxiety, the depression. It's like, okay, well, you start to connect the dots, Okay, well, where is this coming from? You know, what's the root of it? Like, what was happening with my childhood? What was happening with my relations? You know, and like these things, it's like, okay. And then all of a sudden, like, and sometimes you don't know, but sometimes you be like, oh, okay, it's my father. I have to work with my father, the relationship with my father, you know? Uh, and that's like a good way to look at yourself, to have a deeper interpretation, a deeper awareness of yourself and what's going on. But to be honest, that's why we're entering these spaces too, because then we find out truly, like, okay, well, maybe that was the underlying thing. And so there's no wrong way to do it. Mm. But I appreciate your question, brother. And I think it's a good way to think, because I do too. Sometimes I'm like, well, in the beginning when I was working with different healers or in different spaces, I'd be like, oh no, but I hope I didn't forget that one. Like, no, I'm gonna be stuck with that. It's like, it's not like the mechanic, you know, you go to get your car fixed and you forget to tell them to change the oil and you're like, oh no, I spent all that money. I went to Mexico and now I forgot to tell them to change the oil. It's like when they only fix the battery. It's like, yeah, they're gonna this space and the creation. They're gonna tune up the whole vehicle. Don't worry, we'll be good.
Great, thank you. I
You're
think it's
welcome.
more like knowing that I'm gonna write an intention from my disconnected self, and then I'm there. But I completely understand. That's great.
Thank you, brother. Yeah. Would anybody else have any questions? Anything? And I appreciate everybody. To be completely honest with you, I've never necessarily been on a Zoom thing, so I'm used to physical interaction. So it's a bit odd for me, and it's different. So it's like
I
I'm kind of
mean,
like
I don't know
trying to
about the rest,
navigate this like this.
but
I'm like,
from
okay,
for
where's the
me
people?
was super helpful, man. Thank you, uh,
Ah,
Alberto. It's a bit.
mm,
It brings me a lot of clarity too, and
mm,
I I already like your energy, so I'm feel better that I'm going there.
mm. Yeah, brother.
It feels like the right angle to do it.
Mhm, mm. It's a pleasure, brother. I'm so excited to have you there. That's
Yeah,
where
I'm
the
excited too.
magic happens in Mexico, you know. On Zoom,
Yeah,
there's some magic, but come to Mexico, you get
I was
the
going
real
to
thing.
ask you. You are there now? No.
No, I'm on the United States. I'm in Vermont,
Oh,
oddly enough.
cool.
Yeah. Never. I'm from California, but I'm here for another week. Then I go to Mexico. Uh-huh.
Cool.
Yeah. Hmm. So I'm gonna open up if anybody else has any more questions. Nice to see everybody here. I see. Uh, hello, Jimena. Hello, Maggie. So
I mean, if
yeah.
nobody has a question, I will ask you, where do I have to take the plane? Because I have to take the ticket.
Oh yeah. General questions are very welcome. So you're gonna fly into Puerto Vallarta. So and
Puerto Vallarta, okay.
Puerto Vallarta, and it's gonna be you're in December. So
Yeah,
you're gonna fly in the day. Well, it's good to fly in the day before the retreat starts. So I would recommend that. Is you fly in the day before, you have a night to sleep and be rested, and then you come to the ceremony. There's gonna be a shuttle that's gonna pick everybody up from the airport around 2:30 p.m. And so it would be good to arrive the day before, if you can. If you do arrive the day of, to know that the shuttle's leaving around 2:30 to 3. But we're gonna be sending more information to everybody very soon. Mhm,
perfect.
mhm. Uh, well, everybody, we're here, and I figure we're creating a sacred space. We're in sacred community. We're here with the family. So, and I welcome all of you. What beautiful faces, those that are here that can see your faces, those that are hiding. I'm sure that they're gorgeous as well. So, we are here in a ceremonial container of Zoom, the sacred Zoom. So, it's like, so in the sacred space of Zoom, we can imagine there's a fire there. We can imagine I have a nice tabaco, and I would, if everybody's open for it, I would like to give a prayer to close this ceremony, the ceremony of connection. So I invite everybody to close their eyes and to tap into the gratitude that you feel in your life, for your life. Think about your loved ones, those that you care about. Think about your dreams, your aspirations. Feeling this sense of ease, the sense of peace, the sense of love inside of your body. Feeling the gratitude. Allowing us collectively here in this circle, in the ceremonial space, to come together and to amplify this space with gratitude. Every bit of you, give your gratitude. I can feel it. And it's interesting. We're on the internet, huh? But I feel my heart right now. And I feel my heart expressing this gratitude with all of your hearts. And so with this space that we are creating, this sacred container, I'm going to pray. Aho, Creator. Good morning. Good evening. Giving thanks, Creator. Thank you to creation. Thank you for my life. Thank you for this expression of life. The opportunity and the privilege to exist here in this physical body. Thank you for my health. Thank you for my well-being. Truly, truly, truly happy for every moment that has led me up into this point. I'm grateful for the journey of my life. Thank you so much, Creator, for allowing me this form of expression in this human vessel. Truly honored to be here doing this work, and truly honored to have the capability and the opportunity, the privilege to pray. And I am praying to all of the elements of creation. I'm praying to the trees that surround me. I'm praying to the water that fills me. I'm praying to the oceans, to the lakes, to the rivers. I'm praying to the sun, to the stars, to the clouds. I'm praying to my higher truth. I'm praying to my inner child. And I'm praying to all of my human family and to all of the beings of this earth. I'm praying to all of the animals, praying to all of the ancestors. I'm praying to all of the ancestors who came before me. I am honoring their connection to prayer. In this moment, I am full of gratitude for all of the prayers that were given before my lifetime. And all of the generations who are praying for us, the 7 generations behind us who are praying for us. I'm giving gratitude to my ancestors. I'm giving gratitude and praying also to my mother, to my father, to my grandmother, to all in connection, to all of my relations. I am praying and I am sending this gratitude for this human experience, for this connection, for this depth. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Creator. Thank you for my life. Thank you for the life. Thank you for this experience. I am praying for the collective consciousness. I am praying that we can come back into a good place of harmony, balance, of good health, and we can come back into the connection and the memory to take care of ourselves, take care of each other. And I'm praying for this earth, for our Mother Earth, the earth that gives us so much in the day to day. I am praying in gratitude for my Mother Earth. Thank you to this planet for providing me with oxygen, with food, with life, providing me with the place to stand and to pray. And with this, I pray for the collective consciousness that we can remember to take better care of this earth, to take better care of this land. In turn, to remember that taking better care of this earth is taking better care of ourselves. So I pray that we can take better care of ourselves and we can take better care of each other. I am praying for all of those people here in the Zoom call, truly honoring your paths, giving my gratitude for sharing this time with me, for listening, for being here, praying for all of your relations, praying for abundancy, for good health, for happiness, for love in your life. Knowing that maybe you're looking in these preparation series for because you want to change something, you want to heal something, something that you're looking for. So from my heart, I'm praying that you find what you need. I'm praying for your healing, praying for good health, for happiness, for clarity, for positivity, to flourish in your life. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here, not for me, but for yourself. Just coming here and showing up to something like this shows a motivation to better your life. So thank you so much for your willingness and your courage to better your lives. Knowing that in the way that you help yourselves and help your lives, that you're helping everybody, you're helping everything around you. So I thank you and I honor you. And with this, I pray for our next season of soul medicine. All those that feel curious to join the magic, to join the family. I'm praying for a beautiful season with lots of dancing, lots of joy, lots of happiness, lots of healing, lots of connection. So, giving thanks. Thank you, Nura. Thank you so much, sister, for your support here in this Zoom call. If you guys thought it was a bit tricky, if she wasn't here, whew, I don't know what I'd be doing. So I thank you, Nura. Thank you so much for your care and your love for this project, your contribution to this work. Thank you, Mother. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Mother. Thank you, Father. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Aho matakiase. When you're ready, you come back. So yeah, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Remembering that yeah, we're doing this series to help people. And it's a free series, but if there's a curiosity to join one of our retreats, you'll see my face. You know, I'll be there. If you have a curiosity to get to know me better, to get to know Nura better, Pia, the rest of the family, and to start to implicate these practices into your life and to step into an adventure. It's magical over there. You know, the ceremonial containers that we create there is beautiful, as we're right by the ocean, right near the jungle. So come enjoy, join the magic if you feel called. We're waiting for you and we welcome you with a lot of prayers, a lot of love, and a lot of gratitude. So thank you all.
Bye. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.